thousands of beekeepers out there that have had their hives destroyed and they never had any varroa in it. Their livelihoods were based on it, and they've had thousands of hives poisoned with this petrol. You know, they put the petrol on the rag and wipe out the hive. Family businesses have gone under and they haven't got varroa in the hive. I know of one couple where I buy all my bee supplies from. They've lost all of their hives and they never had varroa. What's going on? This is insane.
You're 100% right. It is. They're trying to destroy our food chain right now. They're poisoning the state forest. They're going to kill all the bees around the area, the natives included, because they get affected by the fipronil bait stations. We have 25 acres of food forest that needs to be pollinated, and they're literally destroying all of the bees.
Behind me, all of this are hives. I'm going to show you. 2 nights ago were destroyed. 12th of the 4th, all destroyed. There would have to be at least 100 hives here. There are bees still all over the place. These are all double-stacked hives. And this is what they did 2 nights ago after they've destroyed our hives. Let's get this out there. There are millions of bees being killed in the name of eradicating varroa mite. The DPI have been killing bees for the last 10 months and we are still no better off than what we were 10 months ago when they found this.
On July 8th, 2022, the New South Wales government announced their mass slaughter of all the bees comprising 1,693 beehives. But the government kept declaring more and more premises to be infested, up to 137 premises in March of 2023. Based on the rate they were killing bees in July of 2022, this new amount of infested premises would translate to 6,809 destroyed hives and 510 million murdered bees. And the government is just getting started. This is the map of infested premises provided by the New South Wales government. Around each case, they have a 10-kilometer extermination zone where all bees are murdered. And this includes the wild bees. They're putting out these traps, sweet water laced with a toxic insecticide called fipronil, designed to be taken back to the hive to kill the queen and the entire colony, the hive, with her. And outside these red circles where they're killing every bee they can find with the help of high-tech poison laced into bait. Outside of the red circles are the purple circles, which are the, quote, surveillance zones. And there we're hearing from farmers that their hives are being laced with toxic substances, rendering their wax and their honey possibly poisoned. It should also be pointed out that all of the bee owners in the red zone are forbidden for 3 years to raise any more bees. This is already tragic, but unfortunately it's just beginning.
I don't know. I could get a phone call next week from the DPI and say, Steve, sorry, mate, we're coming down to kill your bees. Now, this is a government body, and while I might be able to take them on, I might try and champion the cause, whether or not I'm going to be successful or not, whether I've got the time to fight this, because it's big government coming down on little Steve, you know, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do that, and I don't even know whether I'm going to keep my bees.
24th of June 2022, the New South Wales government notified beekeepers across the state after biosecurity surveillance detected varroa mite in hives at the Port of Newcastle. And since then, the New South Wales Department of Primary Industries have killed millions of bees across the state. The next big thing that's happened is on the 27th of September 2022, New South Wales Department of Primary Industries, known as DPI, has been authorised by the Australian Pesticides and Veterinary Medicines Authority to use fipronil to remove wild European honeybees. Of concern is that honey in the feral nests may attract native bees and continue to be toxic to native stingless bees for up to 3 years. The Australian Native Bee Association states the pesticide fipronil is being used in a baiting program in the red zones. This pesticide is highly toxic to stingless bees and may remain active within these areas for up to 3 years. The Australian Native Bee Association, is the ANBA, They also stated feral European honeybees will collect toxic sugar syrup and take it back to their nests inside hollow trees. In due course, the feral nests will die, leaving the stores of honeys within the trees, and then this remains toxic for up to 3 years. Unfortunately, this is them talking still, native stingless bees and other nectar-feeding insects, reptiles, birds and mammals may visit these dead feral European honeybee nests and collect contaminated honey. And some of these native insects and animals may die from fipronil poisoning.
It is really effective in killing bees. The way it's so effective in killing bees is because it goes back to the hive and the bees are well enough to fly back with the poison, but then the poison kills the queen. There's been, you're right, billions of bees killed, but many apiaries lost because of fipronil.
The fipronil is a poison that can kill not just bees or feral bees or native bees. It can kill any insect. Butterflies, beetles, anything that can give us some sort of pollination. Flies. We use a lot of flies here without knowing for pollination. Flies will do pollination by mistake. They'll fly into flowers that stinks.
In your interactions with the DPI, have you had any specific justification for this strategy without good scientific evidence, and as you've said, without good scientific method?
I've been refused in writing and verbally any information, and we've asked to release information, specifically the scientific one. They said to us verbally that they have some sort of risk assessment, and the risk assessment suggested the best way is probably to kill, eradicate the bees, let alone we need to check the words here. This is not eradication or euthanasia. This is just simply controlled demolition of the bee industry in some areas. We are not talking here about eradication, because it doesn't do the eradication. The varroa is still here, or will stay probably. We've lost control about it completely. So all the information that we have in terms of science is not existing. We need to remember that almonds, without bees, you get them 75% less crop, which means you'll have 50% less almonds, and the leftover 50% will be half size of the regular almond that we know, which will be really tiny. So the bees is the main basically driver of the almond to the quantity and the quality that we have.
Last year when I saw on the news that this took place, my first thought was World Economic Forum, food supply under attack. And there's a lot of food supply chains around the world that is under major strain. My way of thinking is this is one way of to help stop the food supply in Australia, to really slow it down and start starving the people of Australia.
To me, this is like the sparrow of spring, because they can go on to beekeepers now, but the next thing will be any farm in Australia that will not, come into the wrong position. The government can say, your cows are sick, your sheep are sick, your dairy farm can be destroyed now. And then basically this is evacuation of farmers from their farm. If you can't have your farming for 3-5 years on your property, one more thing that we might have to look at the fipronil as a chemical. Some of the chemicals dissolve and evaporate and disappears. Fipronil is not one of those. Fipronil, if by mistake the bait is falling on the ground, it will go on into the underground water and you'll poison the drinking water. Fipronil is a poison, and this is one of the things that need to be always in consideration, is when we're using insecticides of any type, eventually it'll go into our drinking water via rain or via floods. And this is where we need to look at in taking that on all the chemical companies and also the government. This comes back to us one way or the other via our food or our drinking water. And if you look at fipronil, I think that at its best, it can cause cancer, not to mention all the rest good things it can cause. But there's a lot of things that we don't want to get from the fipronil use.
She said, well, what we want to do is we want to put some strips into your hives, into your brood box, and some sticky paper in the bottom, and test your hives for varroa. And she said that the varroa will die and drop onto the sticky mats. We can check. She said, this is more accurate. It's over 3 days. And I said, will it hurt my hives? Will it hurt my hives in any way? No, it won't. Being the DPI, being the authority, and being often is the case, beekeepers themselves, I didn't question it. And it was pretty stupid of me because I not only volunteered my hives, but I said, well, in the purple zone, we've also got some hives down here in Halakalani, and also another one down here in more down in Budgewoi. She said, well, send all that through to me and we'll choose which hives we want to hit. Well, they decided to hit mine, Kate's, and Shane Shepherd's, another guy, a friend of mine. And so they came out. And the point here is that I did clarify, is it going to damage the hives in any way? No, it's not. The president of my local club, I rang him just to let him know that this had been done, that I was helping out the DPI. And he said, you are aware you can't sell your wax, you know. He said, or at least you can't sell it as an edible. I said, no. I said, there's no damage to the hives at all. And he said, well, no, you can't sell your wax, Steve. So I checked it with the DPI, and apparently you can't eat the wax, which makes me think if you're going to sell it as wax for candles, you can't burn it either. And I thought, well, what about the honey? And I was told by, again, cutting a long story short, after I then looked up on the internet and checked out what this product was, and I engaged Kate's help, and she got in and started making phone calls, etc. as well. We identified this as a very serious poison. And I mean, let's face it, logic prevailing, if it's in the wax, it's more than likely in the honey as well. But I'm not going to sell honey and wax that could be poisoned. I said, how come it's in the wax but not in the honey? And she said to me, the wax is oil-based, but the honey is water-based, so it doesn't stay in the honey, it only goes in the wax. And I thought, no, that's not right either. I spoke to a friend of mine who's in the DPI, and candidly, he said, no, that's completely wrong. He said, I can't imagine who told you that. He said they're all composed from bee enzymes, etc. He said if it's in the wax, it's probably in the honey as well.
30 minutes, the DPI showing up, and they're going to pour 250 millilitres of petrol in each one of our hives, or 17 of them. We're going to lose them all. We tested them for varroa mite, they don't have any. They didn't test it, they're just coming here to destroy them. They don't care. We need people to know what they're doing. They're killing innocent bees. This is just wrong. Proven that we have no varroa mite in our hives. They don't even test it. In fact, they're here to just destroy it. They come here, they've got their petrol, they're pouring it into our hives.
Do you guys want to get involved with the euthanizing, or just want to stay out of it?
I'll stay out of it.
Okay, that's all right then.
Yep. There we go. There's your conspiracy theories for you.
Where you go?
The government doing this. The government doesn't want us to eat, and they're doing this. They're killing all the hives in the mid-north coast, the central coast, all the way from Sydney upwards. They're just blanketing it, and then they're going to start spraying the air. They've already got this stuff ready. They're doing this, and they're doing it to wipe out your pollination. They don't care about you. They care about their money. They care about destroying us. They didn't even test our hives, and they're just killing them. They haven't even, get that in their heads, they haven't even tested for something they're killing. That makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. They're just trying to kill the bees. That's all they're doing. This is the end of a lot of food. You know, we can't live without the bees, but here they are killing them all.